you ever failed? Did it break you or did it make you stronger? 70% of people report feeling fear of failure, which can cause paralysis and inaction. Studies have shown that failure can boost learning by 30% compared to succeeding on the first attempt. Data reveals that those who take time to reflect on their failures are 60% more likely to succeed in the long run. Thomas Edison, over 10,000 failures before inventing the light bulb. Thomas Edison, one of the most iconic inventors in history, is best known for inventing the electric light bulb. However, before achieving this monumental success, he faced over 10,000 failed attempts. Each failure brought him closer to finding the right filament that would work for the light bulb. Instead of seeing these thousands of failures as setbacks, Edison viewed them as lessons. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His perseverance led to the creation of the practical light bulb, which revolutionized the world, making electric lighting accessible to the masses. Edison's experience shows that failure is an essential part of the innovation process. It's about continuous iteration and improvement, even when it seems like progress isn't being made. J.K. Rowling, rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series, now one of the most successful book franchises in history, was rejected by 12 major publishers, but fully accepted by Bloomsbury Publishing. At the time, she was a single mother living on welfare, and rejection seemed like the end of the road for her dreams of becoming an author. Rowling didn't give up after the first, second, or even 12th rejection. She used the rejections as fuel to keep improving and believing in her story. Once accepted, Harry Potter went on to sell over 500 million copies worldwide and was adapted into a blockbuster movie series, becoming a cultural phenomenon. J.K. Rowling's story teaches us that persistence is key. Even after multiple failures, you can still reach unimaginable success. Rejection doesn't mean you're not good enough, it just means you're not in the right place yet. Steve Jobs fired from Apple, only to return and revolutionize the tech world. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the company he co-founded, after a power struggle with the board of directors in 1985. For many, being removed from the company they built would have marked the end of their entrepreneurial career, but not for Jobs. Jobs used this failure as an opportunity for growth. During his time away from Apple, he founded NeXT, a computer company that eventually developed cutting-edge technology. He also acquired Pixar, which went on to become one of the most successful animation studios in the world. In 1997, Apple bought NeXT, bringing Jobs back to the company. His return marked the beginning of a revolutionary era for Apple. Under his leadership, Apple launched the iMac, iPod, iPhone, and iPad, transforming multiple industries, including personal computing, music, and telecommunications. Steve Jobs' journey shows that failure doesn't have to be permanent. Sometimes you need to step away, learn from your mistakes, and then return stronger than ever. His story emphasizes the importance of resilience, reinvention, and embracing failure as an opportunity for growth. Walt Disney, fired for lack of creativity, went on to build an empire. Walt Disney, the visionary behind Disney, was fired from a newspaper job in 1919 because his boss thought he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Soon after, Disney faced multiple failures in his early animation ventures, including the collapse of his first animation company, Laugh-O-Gram Studios, which went bankrupt. Despite these setbacks, Disney never lost his belief in his creativity. Instead of being crushed by rejection, he kept working on his craft and developed Mickey Mouse, which became the cornerstone of Disney's success. Walt Disney eventually built one of the largest entertainment empires in the world, including iconic theme parks, films, and a brand recognized worldwide. Disney is now synonymous with creativity and innovation in entertainment. Walt Disney's journey teaches us that failure, when used as a stepping stone, can lead to monumental success. Perseverance, creativity, and self-belief are key to overcoming rejection and setbacks. Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team, became the greatest basketball player of all time. Michael Jordan, widely regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team as a sophomore. His coach felt he wasn't good enough to make the team, and Jordan was left heartbroken and demoralized. Instead of letting this failure define him, Jordan used the rejection as motivation to improve his game. He spent countless hours in the gym, working on his skills, determined to prove everyone wrong. Jordan went on to dominate in the NBA, winning 6 championships with the Chicago Bulls, earning 5 Vince Awards, and becoming a global icon. His legacy as the greatest basketball player of all time is a direct result of his refusal to give up after failure. Michael Jordan's story shows that failure is not an end, it's often the beginning of greatness. His relentless drive and commitment to improvement turned his early setback into a foundation for success. Oprah Winfrey, fired from a TV news job, became a media mogul. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential women in media, was fired from her first television job as a news anchor at Baltimore's Jazz TV. The station felt that she was unfit for TV and lacked the gravitas required for a successful news anchor. Oprah didn't let her failure crush her career dreams. Instead of sticking to a traditional path, she transitioned into talk show hosting, where she could be more authentic and connect deeply with her audience. The Oprah Winfrey Show went on to become one of the highest-rated talk shows in history, leading Oprah to become a media mogul, philanthropist, and one of the richest women in the world. Oprah's experience highlights how failure can push you toward reinvention. By embracing her authentic self and finding her true calling, she turned rejection into a chance to build an empire. Colonel Sanders failed business after business, created KFC. Colonel Harlan Sanders, the founder of KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, faced numerous failures before his success. At the age of 65, he was rejected over 1,000 times while trying to sell his fried chicken recipe to restaurants. His business had failed multiple times, and he was living on Social Security checks. Sanders refused to give up. Instead of retiring in defeat, he persevered and took his chicken recipe to new places, learning from his mistakes along the way. After many years of persistence, Colonel Sanders eventually succeeded in building KFC into an international fast food empire with thousands of locations worldwide. Colonel Sanders' story proves that age and past failures are no barriers to success. His persistence and belief in his product helped him overcome rejection and achieve his lifelong dream. Albert Einstein struggled in school, became a genius. Albert Einstein, one of the most brilliant minds in history, struggled academically in his early years. He was not a stellar student, and his teachers believed he would never amount to much. He was rejected from a prestigious school in Switzerland and had to work hard to catch up in subjects like mathematics. Einstein's struggles didn't deter him. Instead of following conventional paths, he delved into his own thinking, questioning everything and looking for new ways to understand the world. Einstein went on to revolutionize physics with his theory of relativity, winning the Nobel Prize and becoming a symbol of intellectual brilliance. Einstein's story teaches us that traditional success markers don't define one's future. His curiosity, persistence, and willingness to challenge the status quo transformed his early academic struggles into groundbreaking achievements. Stephen King, rejected over 30 times before Carrie was published. Stephen King, now one of the most famous and successful authors of all time, faced constant rejection early in his career. His first novel, Carrie, was rejected by over 30 publishers. King was even so discouraged that he threw the manuscript in the trash. But his wife, Tabitha, encouraged him to try again. King didn't give up. After being rejected multiple times, he continued to hone his craft and kept submitting his work, determined to succeed. Once Carrie was finally published, it went on to become a huge success, sparking Stephen King's legendary career as a writer of horror, suspense, and fantasy. Stephen King's story proves that rejection is part of the journey, and success often comes after the hardest rejections. His persistence, coupled with his love for writing, eventually led to him becoming one of the best-selling authors in the world. Bill Gates faced failure before revolutionizing the tech industry. Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft, dropped out of Harvard and started a company called Trafo Data, which failed miserably. Microsoft's early years were filled with setbacks and challenges, including poor sales and competition from other tech companies. Gates didn't let his failures stop him. He viewed failure as a learning experience and kept pushing forward with new ideas and innovations. After overcoming countless challenges, Bill Gates co-founded Microsoft, which became the largest software company in the world. Gates later became one of the richest men in the world and a philanthropist. Bill Gates' story shows that failure doesn't mean the end of the road. It can be a step toward learning, and those who will persist through failure can achieve massive success and global impact. Now, how to turn failure into a learning opportunity. You need to shift in mindset. Emphasize adopting a growth mindset, where failures are viewed as stepping stones. Studies show that people with a growth mindset are 40% more likely to overcome challenges than those with a fixed mindset. Actionable steps to learn from mistakes. Step 1. Acknowledge the failure without self-judgment. Step 2. Identify what went wrong and what can be improved. Step 3. Take action based on the lesson learned, and try again. People who fail once and persevere are 5 times more likely to succeed compared to those who quit after one failure.